Good blessed Tuesday, March the 29th, 2022. It's about 5:29 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace. And the blessings of God be with you. Doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter if you are the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter whether you even like me or not. That's your prerogative. You got a right. Today, what I want to talk about is racism, injustice, and I want to say sellout blacks, but I got to try to figure out another name for them. Yesterday, on Monday, March the 28th, 2021, about 6:15, my security cameras alerted me of a van pulling up in front of my house. They have motion sensors on it. Come up M when motion is around, C if it's clear. And you can notice this van, I believe it was a maroon van, pulling up by my house. A white female get out of it. And what she did was, let me show you something that she did. Came to this door. You ain't even pointing at the door. She came to this door. Didn't nobody answer, so she went around to the next. But I want to show you something right quick. You see this? I don't know if she can read or not. Her actions show she might be illiterate. But if you could see what this here say, it say no trespassing. You see what this says, it say no trespassing. These bushes, they separate the property that I live on from the housing authority. And just remember this spot where you seen all these individuals, non-living over here, coming right at this here spot, trying to attack me. You seen the white female that trespassed on my property, tearing my bushes up, doing the same thing that her unattended child was doing with another little white girl. But they think that's all right. If you go over here, you see another no trespassing sign. But like I said, I don't know if she can read or write. I don't know if she was in special ed in Charleston, R1 school district or not. But if that's the case, I think the Susanna Wesley Family Learning Center have a GED program, and it probably would have tell her what private property and no and trespassing mean. That means stay your behind off of other people's property. You see another one right here on this tree. It say no trespassing. And if you see this here thing right here, on both sides of it, it say no trespassing. But I wanna show you something now. You remember the family that I was complaining about. I've been complaining about since December of last year. This, where these bushes is at. On the other side of the bushes, this white family that continuously bring in trash in our community. And I merely complained about it to the foreman of the housing authority. He did what he can, but he black. His workers is black. But the executive director for the housing authority, he's white. He's a dictator. I believe he's a neo-Nazi or Ku Klux Klan. I believe he's probably a grand wizard. But I want to show you what he did when he got upset about me, kept on complaining about this white family. He had a white police, a rejected police, a police officer, come around this way, a police officer by the name of Mark Higgins. You can see when he came on my property on March the 12th, 2021 to bring me this letter. And it was just like this here. Some of y'all seen it before. It wasn't sealed. And if you take a good look at it, it's nothing that a law enforcement official that's legitimate would bring to me for the housing authority, because the housing authority and the law enforcement and the Charleston, Missouri Police Department is two separate entities. Now, you see this name on the bottom here? It's Paul M. Page, Executive Director. Now, he borrowed me from the housing authority, and look why. Look what he says. Dear Mr. Ivy, your constant state of anger expressed it towards Charleston Housing Authority, CHA employees and tenants in your constant trespassing in a tenant's backyard while ranting and raving has caused concern for the safety and peaceful enjoyment of said employees and tenants. Now, did y'all hear what that say? It caused a concern for the safety and peaceful enjoyment of said employees and tenants. Mr. Ivy, you are hereby banned and barred from all housing property. If you are seen trespassing on Charleston Housing Authority property, criminal trespassing charges will be filed for prosecution by the Charleston Housing Authority, the Charleston Department of Public Safety, Police Department, the Mississippi County Sheriff Department, CHA employees, the U.S. Department of HUD, the CHA, the Charleston Housing Authority, and the state prosecuting attorney will be provided a copy of this banned notice. Thank you in advance for your cooperation. Hey, now, I cooperated with what he said, even though it was illegal what he did. Now, if you look at the date of this here, it's March the 9th, 2020. I sent a YouTube video to HUD in St. Louis, Paul Page's boss, showing them the filth where these white people continue to be. And I don't have nothing against white people, but these are some filthy, trashy white individuals. And if you see a video yesterday, they company is individuals that's stealing out of people's mailboxes, stealing out of people's yards, and then just disregarding other people's property. But he abandoned me, so I stood on what he said. But if you look at my video from yesterday, you will see this white female that hangs out in this house right on the corner. It's 302 Warhouse, on the corner of Warhouse and Vine. A felon, Josh Easton, EFTINT, lives there. He was living at 719 Vine Street until November the 5th, until his meth lab burnt up his house. But they ain't gonna check that out because he's white, he's a felon, and he's a snitch. And most of all the individual black and whites that hang in his house is on at least 15 years paper, and they snitches. Because if they wasn't snitches when they came and approached me with all them damn guns, you see what I'm saying? And you notice that the city manager rode past. He runs the police department. But not one police came. I didn't call them because they don't protect me and my children. But he said for their safety. But if you look at all them coward mobs that came down here yesterday, black and white, whose peace is being disturbed? Who's feel more threatened than me and my children's with all these people coming down there, guys coming with guns? And then when you see where they piled up at 302 Warhouse, You see what I'm saying? With these filthy, nasty white people that move down in our community. It's bad enough we trying to keep the 600 block clean and decent, but then you have these ignorant Negroes that want to be gangsters. I got a few people in Chicago say they want them to come up down there with that whole crowd and run up into the most meekest neighborhoods. And I guarantee you, they won't come back. Bring all your armory. Because every time you shoot at somebody, you miss. And you wondering why you got shit bags on the side of your damn waist. But whoever shot you, they didn't know what they was doing. But I'm just gonna show y'all this here. Paul Page is that same police, Mark Higgins, gonna bring a notice like this here to all them Negroes down the street that came over here on my property. That fat, nasty white female that came on my doors, came into my yard, went tearing my bushes up like her. I ain't gonna even talk about a baby because I can see why the baby was tearing the bushes up because the mama did. Maybe they was hungry. Maybe they thought there was greens on them bushes. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they was hungry. We would have fed them. You see what I'm saying? And then the baby was so small, and I'm not talking about the baby. The mama is like a whale. But then, how is it that this guy got a gun case, not only on 5-year paper, white boy, and all you ignorant blacks that came down here with him, look at my video and see him standing in the middle of the yard, ain't said a word. Now what if me and my daughters got to spraying y'all ass in this yard? He'd have been right there. Him and his wife would have ran in there. They caused the whole thing. The white female coming in here, and y'all want to be tough. And as far as the individual that told me, Brian Campbell, you told me to go to the service station. I've been at 3 or 4 of them today. I didn't see you. And those of you blacks that follow behind me, I'm going to go to the service station. My daughter's going to go. The day that you put your hand on one of my daughters, it'll be the night that all of y'all would never see another day. You can take that as you want. It's not a threat, it's a promise. You see what I'm saying? And y'all wondering why people putting lead in some of y'all. You bring danger to your own family because y'all count. And Paul Page, you ain't no different than them. And the police department and the sheriff department, if me and my children or any other blacks would have been doing what these black Negroes and them white folks was doing yesterday, y'all would have had the place surrounded. And y'all wondering why I don't call the police. But I'm wondering if you're going to have that old fat Mark Higgins, that police that was rejected from East Prairie from a captain. And look up Mark Higgins' record. I do a lot of research. I got my own business. It's called RRR. Raymond Research and Recovery. Mark Higgins had a brother in East Prairie handcuffed and let his friend hit the brother in the face with an axe. Charleston, Missouri, police officer go from Charleston to captain down in East Prairie. He been promoted for killing a young brother back in 2011. But that's how it operates. You blacks that want to start trouble, why don't all of y'all go down there on the block that you live on? You see what I'm saying? The world seen what type of cowards y'all was, carrying guns and didn't use them. But you see, people done looked at y'all on social internet, especially my people, and they seen all of y'all faces. So if I do get dropped at the service station, you can bet my daughters never had me buried, but then you got to think about something else. And I know you ain't smart enough to think about it, and I ain't gonna say it on social internet. But I tell you one thing about me, one does not swim with sharks without taking a risk of being eaten or eliminated. You think about that. Peace be still.